La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la. Yeah.
Take a giant step for mankind.
There's got to be 100 reasons why I don't blow you away. Right now, I can't think of one.
I got the power. I got the treasure.
And you have a flight to catch.
Yo, Adrian, me Rocky.
It's the Al Travis Show. We call it Cleanup in Aisle 9, or Yeah But, with Senator Susan Kent. I think this is going to be a contentious day, and I'm not looking forward to it because as we were chatting just before we went on, I was telling the story, and I forgot the names of about half a dozen people there. I don't think I'm on the top of my game to be playing with you today.
Works for me.
Well, yeah, let's have at it. But first, you did let it be known that you were on an all-gals weekend with your buddies. Curiosity, it kills the cat. At a certain age, do you gals stop the pillow fights, which all of us believe you're having? Is that what? I can't ask?
I think I can, in my entire 60-plus year life, I think I actually remember one pillow fight, probably inspired by the Brady Bunch, and I think I was about 8.
Wow, tough
Sorry
college
to bust
career.
people's trouble.
Every guy's like, seriously? And they're looking over their wives? Never? Okay. So it wasn't a pillow fight.
There were no pillow fights.
What did you do? What do, gal? How many were you first?
Well, so it started with a friend, staying with a friend of mine since high school. She lives outside of Philadelphia, so we spent the day in Philly, which was lovely. I love that city. And then we went and met other folks in Ocean City, New Jersey. And it's my first time there. I've heard about the Jersey Shore forever. You know, I lived in New York for a couple years, and I'd just never been there. So we got to drive through Atlantic City to pick up one friend. So I got to see that, and then be on the Jersey Shore. So there were a total of 6 of us. These are people I've known in a range of 40 to 50 years, and it's just funny, smart women, and we just talked and laughed. We walked on the beach. We went to the boardwalk. I got to have a water ice, which is not a water ice. It's a water ice because that's the Philadelphia accent. Very good, but not a New Orleans snowball. That has been a source of debate for many years.
That's one we haven't covered on this show yet, but we'll save that for when we have a slow news day.
Extreme regional stuff. And then you'll appreciate that on Asbury Avenue, there was a quote unquote fall block party, which is a big glorified craft fair. And you can imagine we had fun with that. And we were just silly and just had a grand old time and drank a little too much wine, of course, but it was all in good fun and nobody was driving anywhere. So it was all safe and good.
Here's what I think is different. The pillow fighting, of course, you've ruined my image there. But other than that, like on our guy weekend, I have the same guys for years. We've been getting together. We know it will include a sport. We're going to golf. You know, we're going to golf. We're going to smoke cigars, which some of them don't do it around their wives. And then we also know we will rip each other mercilessly as far as jabs and ripping people and it's all in good fun. We love each other. Do girls do that? Do you guys kind of make fun? Yeah. Like, is that how you're going to go out today? Dress like that or anything? I mean,
I don't think we picked on each other's apparel, but we did. There is good natured, ribbing over different people's foibles, if you will.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, good. That's the same.
Yeah,
good. Okay, fine.
Here's the other thing. So we watched, and I don't know if you heard, it was this, I think it made the national news. We weren't really paying attention, but there was a big nor'easter that came up on the shore. And so we had to cut our trip short because we had to get out off the island before flooding happened, Yeah. So, and part of it was very rainy. So we did just spend a lot of time inside. We turned on, I guess it was like HBO, and it was the second half of that Demi Moore, The Substance, that won, she won a Golden Globe last year for it. It's a weird aging movie. It's very dark. A French director. So anyway, we watched that. But we watched the second half of it, so we didn't understand it. And so when my friend and I got back to Philadelphia, she and her husband and I watched the whole
thing. Okay.
And if anybody ever saw Eraserhead, this is the closest thing I can come.
So are you a movie person? When have you spent years where when the Golden Globes or the Oscars come up, you've seen all of the nominees and you knew what they were? Do you do that?
I worked in movie theaters in college, and I lived across the street from a movie theater when I was growing up. So I've always had a bit of a movie thing. And I mean, parenting years, that all goes out the window, because the only thing you ever see is Pixar and Disney. And it really just in recent years, we've gotten back into trying to see as many of the ones we want. I've gotten to where it's like, they're just movies I know I'm not going to like, so I don't bother, but I do like but that was one I had not seen and I wasn't sure I wanted to see it. And I know why.
Okay.
But it was well done. It was a very thought-provoking movie.
I have for years, and it's just, I don't like other people. I think that's out there and known. I don't like sitting in a massive row with other people, with people around you, and some talk, and some got their phones on, and all the other distractions that come with going to theater. I'm not trying to talk people out to go to the theater, by the way. It doesn't work for me. And now with the whole streaming million channels on your TV thing, I am just fine to not see the hottest movie today because in 6 weeks I can get it for $4.99 in my living room and push pause when I got to use the kids' room. I'm not trying to. I have not, except for I believe Star Wars have to be seen on the big screen. I will go force myself.
Yep. That's
really the only. That's like the only thing I go to the theater for.
I have mixed feelings about this because I do love the theater and I do think that movies were meant to be seen. They were literally made to be seen on the big screen, and I think comedies are way better with a group of people than just sitting in your house by yourself because you get laughing with the group, and that's a more, I think. Anyway, but two things I'll say is I did Barbenheimer. So I saw Barbie, and this was fun. I saw Barbie with a bunch of women from the Minnesota Senate.
Barbie, you're talking the doll that came to life? Okay, never in my life will I ever watch. Okay, fine.
That is such a great movie. So anyway, but saw that with a bunch of women senators, and then which was really fun, and we just kept looking at each other in the aisle, and then the other one was the Oppenheimer movie, which was literally big screen, sound effects, the whole thing. It's like I can't imagine. And that our family, but we live real close to the Alamo Drafthouse here in Woodbury, which if you ever get a chance, go to that because they're very aggressive about people not using their cell phones during. They will kick you out. And I love that. They take the movie going experience very seriously. So I love that I live a mile from the Alamo Drafthouse.
This is going to sound bad, but my wife did, because we were on vacation a year ago, whatever it was, made me go to a movie. And I don't remember what the movie was because I was so awestruck by the flipping seats. We walk in here and it isn't sit in a seat that folds down and will snap back and bite your hand when you get up. It's full recliner, kick up.
Man. Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
You're not fighting over the armrest with anybody. Yeah.
So I couldn't get over the seats. I thought you did fall asleep.
And it's reserved seating. See, that's my other problem. Because I worked in movie theaters. I was so spoiled. I could go to the movies when I wanted to go to the movies. Yeah. I didn't have to wait in really long lines. I didn't pay because we all had reciprocal agreements. We let people into our theater free and they let us in free. It was all not for the big set. We didn't displace paying customers on a busy Saturday night. But so it's like I know how to have a pleasant and control my theater experience, but I hate waiting in line, and then I hate getting a really bad seat. So now that you can reserve your seats at movie theaters, that has changed that for me too.
And these aren't seats. People, you're all whining about $20 to go to the movies. You're sitting in a lounge chair. What's a lounge chair cost? This is, it's a whole nother experience.
The experience. And then at the Alamo Drafthouse, they will bring you your food and beverages, including adult beverages. So they don't call it the Drafthouse for nothing.
Get out of here. Okay, I might be stopping there. I should throw this out quick. Mary, thank you, Mary. Actually, a friend of mine from high school years ago, but anyway, listens to the show. Nice gal. She sends me an email. She said, do you have whatever cinema this is in your neck of the woods? I don't have a movie theater in my town. She goes, here's what happened. She got some reward for something. She signed up for the theater pass, like a $50 pass to the theater. And they sent it to her. She looked it up. They don't have one within 90 miles of her home. The closest one is Mankato, and she believes I live in Mankato, which I don't, which is fine. But she goes, could you use it? I said, not me. I'd give it to my kid. I got it in the mail yesterday. She sent me a certificate. I'm like, well, now I owe you $50. She goes, no. I called the company and said, these theaters aren't my neck of the woods. They said, don't worry about it. Keep the card. We'll send you something else, send her something else. So I got a $50 movie theater ticket, which I won't use. Just told you all why. But maybe my kid and my wife can go. We got to get a break.
That sounds nice.
This has gone pretty well so far. I thought for sure I was going to lose you on everything we talked about. We're doing okay. The pillow thing hurts because I'm going to have to rethink my entire adulthood.
Please do.
Back after this with more.
Hey, Brian, what do you call a lobbyist with a sense of humor?
Me?
Close. Momentum Advocacy.
We help clients get real results at the Capitol with strategy, relationships, and just enough charm to make it fun.
From policy wins to media spots, we've got your back.
Nonprofits, businesses, coalitions, we've helped them all.
And we do it with nearly 90 years of combined experience.
Momentum Advocacy.
As always, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more about our team at momentum-advocacy.com.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on the Al Travis Show.
And we've got our Senator Susan Kent. You know, of all the things we talk about, you just know sometimes you're going to get letters. I have no doubt an email is coming. You asked a lady senator whether she has pillow fights with her girlfriends. How sexist. It's like, well, that's kind of the point of the question. Do girls still do that? Guys, I'm going to get in trouble. It's okay.
Well, and you asked that question of one of the bigger feminists you probably know, and I didn't take umbrage.
That's the email. I'll talk about stuff in the state all day long, and people are like, whatever. But as soon as I touch Senator Susan Kent with a, obviously, bad question. Yeah, all right. Here's what I want to talk about quick, because I don't really think about it much except for a couple of years when voting comes along, and I guess I don't care a lot. I'm not a stolen elections guy. But things just keep throwing around. This happened on Monday, and it caught my attention. Secretary Simon said that he's trying to get a bill passed in federal bill, a congressional bill, that's called the Voter Purge Protection Act. I hadn't heard of it. I have no idea. They all sound good, so I get reading on it. Basically, it says voters shouldn't be removed from the voter rolls unless there's reliable evidence they died or moved to another state. We're in 2025. And this is what gets me. I'm going to throw it at you. My dad dies 4 months ago. The state fills out his death certificate, and then you have to decide how many real ones you want, if you want copies, because some take and some don't. So the state knows he passed. I presumed, never do that if you're a great radio announcer, that then the state of Minnesota knows he's passed. They would send the information to the appropriate places. IRS got it right away. They stopped his checks from, his, not IRS, Social Security. I would imagine they'd send it to Steve Simon and say, hey, this guy's no longer with us. Take him off the rolls. But evidently that's just not a given. And I find that shocking at 2025.
Well, I find that surprising just because as somebody who has campaigned for years with a database, right? Yeah. And the database continually gets updated with information from the Secretary of State's office.
Yeah.
So like once somebody, as you're getting close to the election, once somebody has voted, they come off our list.
Yeah, it's updated pretty regularly.
Right. And so same thing, people die. And so and also with our mailing list, all that stuff. So they do get notified about death. So I'm sure they may be saying maybe there's some way something slips through the cracks. Yeah. But what's interesting about this though is that the reason for this proposed law is really legitimate, because in states where there have been aggressive efforts to target certain types of voters, and purge the voter rolls, like if you haven't voted in the last election or two, they would just kick you off the rolls and assume that must be because you moved.
That's the move thing too. Thank you. Oh, you're so right. This is the other part, the move thing. Because
you can have lived there and you have voted and you just happen not to have voted.
Vote. I don't think you get kicked off for longevity. I agree.
But it's that's what they're trying to prevent is this arbitrary attack on people just because they haven't voted regularly enough to
satisfy them. Yeah, right. I don't disagree. The move thing is interesting to me too, because again, it's cross state lines. I don't know if I want the federal government in charge of this or not, but somehow it's amazing we don't have this. I moved to Iowa for whatever reason. I pick up my stuff. I'm moving to Iowa. All the things you got to do. The last thing I'm going to do is call Steve Simon and say, by the way, buddy, I'm moving out of state. You can take. No one's going to do that. It's just not happening.
That's not how that. Yeah, that's not how that happens. So.
Well, no, that's my point. So then I presumed when I moved to Iowa and I want to vote there, I go sign up, and then Iowa sends it out and said, hey, Minnesota, he's an Iowanian now. He just signed it, got it. I thought that's how they did it. I mean, I guess I presumed with computers it would be a pretty fluid process, but evidently that's not the way this goes. One state doesn't have to tell the other state, and all of a sudden now I could be registered in a couple of states. I haven't voted for 6 times because I don't live there anymore, but that's okay. I have no proof you left. That's where nothing good can come with bad voter rolls for either side. I don't understand why we're fighting against this, but we have computers today. But we should be known.
So the computer thing, and it all comes to, as I say, credible evidence, right? And so, I don't know the specifics. This would be a really great thing to get somebody from the Secretary of State's office to come on and talk through, because there are very good guardrails that they have on this stuff. But for example, if say Washington County finds out that I moved because they sent me a jury summons and it came back. Yeah. I'm not sure. There are ways, there are postal mail change kind of things. There are ways that they get official records, but that they're not, because this goes back to the bigger conversation we've been having about DOJ and the big federal database that people want to be worried about. And, the fact that our elections are handled at individual state levels, because, states' rights, things that Republicans really used to like until recently.
Okay, don't get snarky.
Yeah, I'm good at it. That it keeps these things safe, but it also, it's like, so there's not a lot of information sharing, but it's so that we can protect our state's election systems. So, yeah.
Okay. On this, you let the phone companies do it. It's not like I don't have the answer. You let the phone companies do it. This, you gamble on your phone or whatever. Can't do it in the state of Minnesota. People around here, you drive 8 miles to Iowa. The phone realizes you're pinging an Iowa thing. Then you go vote FanDuel. The phone companies know exactly where you're at. They know where you're at every minute of the day. If I'm to leave the state, they'll know. Let the phone companies run our voter rolls. Sorry, Mr. Simon.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want these big corporate people doing this stuff. That's the point. We have these localized systems to protect the residents of that state. And guess what? That's an anti-tyranny thing that Republicans used to really like.
We're going to talk more tyranny on the other side then, because then today's issue about voting was all really weird to me. We'll talk about it. On the other side, we've got our Senator Susan Kent, and she does not pillow fight. Let's just be honest with that. That myth is gone now.
Have you hit someone with memory foam?
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put
If I had enough staff, that clip would be taken right now and used for every promo. Have you ever tried hitting someone with memory foam? See you in 7 minutes.
Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or